Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to GOMTV. Tastes on our Toast is here. We're here in Group B now. Group A was just yesterday. We had a lot of great games.
Yeah, I think today's going to be even better. We did have RorO drop out, so this is a group of 4. Now,
yes.
RorO, basically what happened is Kespa decided to send a player to DreamHack Bucharest, where we're actually going next week. And they kind of just took the best players in order and asked them. And it got rejected at a couple of the spots, and then RorO got it because he's one of the top performers there.
Right,
so.
and since RorO can't be here for this entire tournament the same way that we can't be here for this entire tournament, what he decided to do was just drop out.
We didn't drop out, though. We aren't cowards.
No, we didn't drop out. We stayed as long as we could. So, yeah, he's
We're getting eliminated today, though.
this is the finals for us. So, yeah. RorO's not going to be here. We're going to have a slightly different format for the number of games broadcasted today. Yeah. The tournament format is still the same. It's still going to be round robin. But instead of us doing 5 best-of-3s, we're going to fit in 6.
That's right. It's a little bit of extra StarCraft for you. We get to see everything in the group. And it's a sick group as well. Impact and Action, the 2 Zerg players, 2 very strong up-and-coming Zergs from... Korea. Obviously, all the players in here are from Korea. And then, of course,
it's early for us here.
It's early for us. Just getting warmed up, Tasteless.
This is normally we start at 6 p.m., so this is the morning for us here at 1 p.m.
Happy Easter, by the way.
Yes, happy Easter. Yeah. I forgot it was Easter till you told me that, actually. Yeah. I've been secular for a long time out here in Korea.
Well,
yeah, it is Easter.
It's an Easter egg hunt for my little baby. So
oh, that's so cute.
It's funny.
That's really
cute. Open eggs.
Yeah, happy Easter, guys. We got Group B here. After Group B, we're going to be going into a bracketed phase of the tournament. Mm-hmm. I think today's games are going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of awesome TVZs here.
Yeah, certainly. Of course, we're going to have a TVT and a ZVZ as well, but mostly TVZs going on.
So yesterday we had some fantastic games. Definitely check out the VODs if you haven't already. I got to say I was a little bit bummed out that Squirtle didn't perform a little bit better. But overall, I mean, the rest of the games were fantastic. I thought Hack played a lot better than we've seen him before, and he was always a very talented, solid player.
Yeah, he
Parting was a knockout, too.
Yeah, DRG was playing fantastically also, just happened to lose to Parting all inning a whole bunch. So, that's the way it goes.
And on to today's matches. We're going to start off with Maru versus Impact. Maru is the last Korean Terran hope for most of this year. Yeah. So far, at least.
He is the best, right? Like,
yeah,
he's doing the best in Pro League, I do believe. Well, second to Hero, who's a Protoss. But yeah, he's killing it. He's such a high-end Terran. You probably want to consider him the favorite of this.
I mean, based off his most recent results, I would say absolutely yes. Terran has not been having the easiest time, especially not in the GSL Codas, if you've been watching that. So it's been really exciting to see Maru and how well he could actually do with a race that I'm not going to say is not balanced or not able to do well right now, but certainly in the meta game right now, I would say Protosses have solved a lot of the problems they were having in years before.
A lot of the complaints that people had before, it's not really the same anymore. We're not seeing as many blink all-ins. Yeah, we only got one more Terran into Codes this time, but if you look at who was actually eliminating the Terrans, the Zergs were eliminating the Terrans. So
this is true. This is very true.
Not really the Protoss fault.
But it's also, again, exciting to just see how well Maru's been doing. Also, keep in mind, we've been casting Maru since the very beginning of Codas. We've seen this guy develop. He was very young when he first started here.
He was such a little kid.
And he has blossomed into a fantastic powerhouse pro gamer.
Yeah, he's blossomed like a hand grenade, Tasteless. More of an explosion of skill.
Our first map is going to be Way Station. And after that, Merry-Go-Round. And if we do go to the third and final map, it'll be King Sejong Station.
Well, should be a good one. Impact, if you haven't really seen him yet, a great pickup from Total Biscuit for Axiom.
Oh, absolutely.
This guy, he was in that State of Play documentary, I do believe. He was one of the people that they followed, and he did knock me out of a Code A qualifier. So this guy just has all sorts of, I hope he loses. No, he's a fantastic new Zerg player.
All right, we're into our game. Our Terran hero, he is
GSL Green Wings Maru.
And his opponent over here in the upper left, our Zerg.
Axiom Impact.
Okay, so this map is pretty interesting. It's it has 4 starting locations, but the 2 players can only start out at the top left or the bottom right, or the bottom left and the top right.
That's right. No super close spawns.
Or top right, bottom left.
These are
top
the
left,
further
bottom
ones,
right, yeah.
at least.
So these are the farther starting locations here. And, you know, it does make for some pretty epic TVZ specifically. I mean, it's quite a travel distance. Zerg can expand comfortably. At the same time, Terran do have a decent number of expansions that are in close enough proximity that they can hold them.
Sure.
It's also fundamentally different from a lot of other maps that have 4 starting locations in the sense that it's not, how would I say this correctly? Not symmetrical in 4 different parts.
Yeah.
This one you can cut down diagonally through the middle, from top right to bottom
symmetric?
left. I guess, you know, it's
there's a mirror symmetry.
Let's take like Ultrazeme Stronghold, right?
Yeah.
Like that map, Terran has a different set of problems or burdens to
That's like
deal with.
rotationally symmetric or something like that? We used to know these words. We haven't used them recently.
Yeah, I would say maybe rotationally symmetric. The problem was that there were 2 different directions Zerg could expand out to. In this case, it's not really so much. The Zerg is still far away, which behooves the Zerg early on. But later on, the Zerg is still eventually expanding closer to the Terran.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see some pretty long, dramatic games on this map.
Yeah, and quite likely that could be the case here. Definitely a pretty decent map, I would say, for Impact to have a chance against Maru, because I do feel like on really gigantic maps, ZVT becomes a lot easier, because Terran has a hard time actually putting the nail in the coffin. It's just so far away for them to walk. You know, Zerg can get their creep out so far and get up to 3-4 bases, and when you're on like a 4-base Zerg, if you're keeping up on upgrades and not messing up your micro in the battles, on a map this long, it takes Terran so long to kill you.
It really does. You know, when Wolf and I were casting Byung playing, we were just blown away at his ability to harass his way to a win, and that might be one of the ways we're going to see Terrans win here, splitting the armies up and, you know, dropping, getting the Hellions in there, doing damage like that early on, but mostly in the late game, just forcing the Zerg to run out of gas because you're multitasking so hard and attacking so many locations, the Zerg just falls apart.
I agree with what you're saying completely. I think that is the way that Maru will try to approach this, is some extra harassment, extra dropping all over the place, but that feels to me like it's predictable as well. So you could set up some more static D perhaps. Maybe send out your Overlords a little bit further out on the sides to make sure you see medevacs coming.
I really like what you just said there about the Overlords on the sides, because this is a map where unless the Terran is going to get Vikings, and that's not as popular. We do see it sometimes.
Sometimes you see like one flying around early on, but it's not too common.
We actually saw Byung, I believe, on this exact same map, get double Vikings early. Before the first 2 medevacs, I think that's probably something that you should be doing on a map like this.
That makes a lot of sense, right? Because he did need to rely on harassment to be able to end up winning that game.
Oh, is he gonna get this queen?
Maybe, or maybe.
Oh my God! He got the queen and he kept both Reapers alive.
That is actually what we call perfect micro from Maru.
You know what's funny? We didn't even highlight the initial harass there with the Reaper and the queen, because it never.
You never get it.
Yeah, it never turns into anything more than just, you know, they exchange damage and leave.
Both of his Reapers were 1 queen shot from dying at the end, so that's like really quite astounding. He hit that exactly perfectly. That's the type of situation that a lot of times you see a player get greedy and then they lose a Reaper or 2 and they're like, oh, that queen is so hurt.
I mean...
You know what I mean, Tasteless?
I know what you mean. I hear you, brother. I'm trying to think of the last time, though, I've actually seen a queen die in this position. It's actually been so long.
It's been a while.
Since anything we've casted, at least. So, you know, from here, the Terran's transition, the most common is to use those Reapers and combine them with the Hellions to push out to, first and foremost, just get rid of creep. If they do see an opening, they will run in and try to get drones, but you have to be very careful in that situation, because you know, once you go to the Zerg's base, there's usually no going out. And if you do lose the Reapers and the Hellions, you lose all map control for the majority of the game. And keep in mind, when he's making these Hellions and Reapers, he's not making Marines, tanks, Widow Mines, etc. So that is really all the offense Terran has. Terran can still survive a counterattack, but not much more than that.
And indeed, this is actually all the defense he's really going to have for a bit as well. If you look at the build order, of course, as he should be, Maru's being quite greedy. He's going into a quick third command, double eBay, all of this off of almost no units, almost no production. But, you know, on this map, it makes sense. It's going to be fine. There's no way that he's going to be punished for this. So,
once
it's
again,
looking like it's going to be a long one.
With that fantastic micro, he hasn't lost a single unit except for that one Reaper just a second ago. Already killing off one Queen.
That's right.
I gotta say, this is some of the best micro.
Yeah, it's really
so far in this game. I mean, he is really not missing a beat.
Maru has so surpassed the other Prime Terrans. Well, you know, obviously he's not a Prime Terran anymore, but remember back in the day, we would look at him and be like, you know, he's kind of like a mini Marine King. Not quite as good, kind of trying to do the same thing.
He was like Diet Marine King.
Yeah, he was Marine King 0. But now, Marine King, I guess, is Marine King 0.
He was Marine King Lime.
Marine King is, yeah, Marine King is Cherry Maru. Just
Whoa!
Not nearly.
I like that.
Not nearly as good as actual Maru, unfortunately.
It's no longer Maru Diet Marine King now.
Like it.
Marine King is just Cherry Maru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know our sodas.
We do. We're going to have the 3 additional barracks complete here momentarily. The starport's almost done to be attached to the reactor. And this is really where Terran gets that economic boost. We do see Terran does want to expand to this 3rd location. This is one of these many little things you can do to just slow down somebody, putting a, you know, the ling right there so it can't land. That could even mess up when you try to do the SCV transfer.
Slowing it down at all is quite nice. Now, look at this. The armory lined up perfectly with this 1-1. And actually, the layer lined up perfectly with the 1-1 of Zerg. We really should see both 2-2s start immediately. This is like one of the most important things, is to be on top of your upgrades on a big map like this. It's probably going to go very long.
Well, a lot of these Zergs don't get the hive right away. They stay with like Muta
going up
a lot.
to 3-3 is way harder to do on time. Like, that's... Like, you have to have a special build order to actually go up to 3-3 on time.
And when Terran does get that 3-3 at that phase of the game, they look very, very strong.
So we'll see in just a second here as we go back to the production tab when this gets started. Now, I love the quick baneling speed. That's like ultimate safety here. He's doing some good creep spread, and with that baneling speed, he's saying, Maru, you're not going to kill me early. And, you know, that's really smart, because even though this is hard to go across the map and kill your opponent, Maru has a type of micro that could make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Spire about halfway done. Zerg, I believe, is going to take a 4th in a few moments here.
Yeah, that
but you know, with medevacs coming out, right now the Terran does have a lot of power on the map. This is that next level where Terran has really the ability to punish the Zerg, because they can escape with their whole army right here if things start to get dicey.
Well, let's see here. You know, he's trying to get some pushing going, but this baneling speed's going to finish. He's just going to have to get off this creep. There's really not much that he can do there. We do have 2-2 started finally for our Zerg player. A little bit slower than Maru's, but, you know, he wanted to get the Spire up. He wanted to get some banelings morph, make sure he was safe, so not that big a deal. But now with the Zergling speed, Muta's on the way, taking this 4th base, should be pretty safe against anything Maru can do for the next little while.
All right, an engagement coming up here. He may have to pick up. And actually, beautiful angling here, letting his Hellions get hit up there in the front. The Marines staying alive there in the back. Now, the Hellions don't really have much value later on in a TVZ. Yeah. They're not that helpful compared to, for instance, having Marines that you can kite and stem and split.
It's like kind of okay to just lose them now. They do become much less useful. It's still nice to have them, of course, because of that splash damage against Lings, but oh well.
Nice boost out here. He's hitting the 4th. The Mutas are actually chasing the medevac. He might be able to take this hatchery out.
He may be able to. You are right. Let's see. He's getting it quite low, but it looks like these Zerglings going to slow him down a bit. Where are the banelings? Oh, here they go.
There they are.
For having speed, those took their sweet time to get to the 4th.
I got to say, by the way, talk about the absolute maximum amount of damage you could have done there before picking up and leaving.
Maru, like parting, one of those players that executes a level above anyone else of his race.
And the push is not stopping here. He's staying on top of the Zerg. It looks like we actually have a command center moving out to another location here on the bottom right, but we'll get to that in a second. The Banelings now coming down here. The Marines are being split absolutely beautifully.
God, that that Widow Mine just killed like 5 speed banes.
Yeah.
So painful. He might just go ahead and lose this. It looks like he's going to, and that is so painful.
Zerg desperate to keep this alive, but it's not going to pay off.
You know, one of the recurring themes of StarCraft 2 commentary is the explanation of, you know, the TVZ is a battle over the 4th base most of the time.
Yeah, it really
Can
is.
Terran actually kill the 4th base of Zerg? And here Maru has, and he's taken a gigantic lead because of it. And he's very favored to win this game from
It's
here.
going to be nearly impossible, especially with how Maru's control has been like completely perfect this entire series.
Yeah, and
entire game, I should say.
Look at this never-ending rally he has coming up as well.
Yeah.
Pretty scary stuff, but you know what? If Axiom's Impact pulls this together a little bit and really crushes the army, maybe he can start a comeback, but it's hard to see anyone do that against Maru.
All right, nice attack here by our Zerg, but yeah, before I can even finish that sentence, there's a drop in the main. I mean, Maru was on another level there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, you know, that's rough. It's Maru. You expect him to beat you no matter who you are.
Yeah, Maru is looking better than ever, really. His control is just so solid. All the way from the very beginning when we saw that Queen taken out with the 2 Reapers to the next Reaper Hellion Harass to every push he had there.
Yeah,
he had
the little Marine push up there, even though he lost those Hellions then, he kept everything alive, continued to rally up.
That was the beginning of the crumbling of the Zerg.
See, if he could have maybe held on to that 4th and gotten, you know, some drones mining there, then his economy would have kind of skyrocketed. He would have been able to continue to macro, maybe knock out more armies. But Maru hit him right before he could get that done, and
you know,
it worked out.
It's funny because we were talking about this is a map where Zerg usually are going to lose base to a Terran who can really multitask. And even there at the very end, okay, the Zerg was beginning to hold back that push, but guess what? There's a drop there in the main, taking out all the drones. There's nothing that he can do in the long run from there. So, I mean, it was very nicely done by Maru. I'm really wondering if this is just going to be a 2-0.
I think it is. Like, if Impact can't hold on a map that big and that long, on those super long positions, I don't know that he's going to be able to hold on really anywhere. Like, Maru's just going to continually apply pressure that's, like, safe and strong, and what do you do as Impact?
It's really funny, too, because that's a map where you don't expect to see a lot of those victories, the little battles, not the overall game just there, but the battles in themselves. The victories they're going to the Terrans so easily. If you put these guys on a map that's going to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more narrow, I think Zerg's going to have a really hard time.
Yeah, certainly. Merry-Go-Round is pretty wide open. The 3rd base kind of far away from the natural and main, so could be hard for Maru to really secure that if there's some really good harassment with Zerglings coming out of Impact. But, you know, it seems like even though Impact is a very good player, he's still up and coming, definitely has a lot of potential in him. Maru's the best Terran in the world. Yeah,
he was on top of everything in that last game. The upgrades, the armory finishing right then to get the 2-2. The barracks explosion happening. He was even so confident. He had that command center out near the middle of the map for the 4th base to be acquired. I mean, he was ahead in every